He had a cat on his head the entire run. Oh, well, what's going on? It is 2:30 in the morning over here. I have no idea why the heck I'm still awake. And this is possibly one of the worst games that you will ever see. This is Guido's Lost in Plantness. This is an MSX game developed by two teenagers from the Netherlands in about 1995. And in the context of that, it's not all that bad. Oh, but it's a thing. Let's check out the plot before we get started, though. I gotta get my dramatic reading voice on. It's gotta load the plot. Here comes the plot. On a night when everything seemed to be alright, there was a stranger in Guido's house. It was his old enemy, Guido. He looked the same as Guido, but this Guido was poor. I sound like Ronnie Cordova. This Guido wanted to kill the good Guido, but he failed and ran away because the good Guido woke up. The good Guido ran after him, but couldn't get him. Guido couldn't sleep anymore, so he started thinking. It's always a dangerous thing to do. Guido found some clues, it's clues, trust me, about where the bad Guido could be. Guido was very tired now, so he decided he would think more the next day. When Guido woke up again, he began to pack some stuff, and after finishing his meal, he started a journey. Guido didn't know the journey would be a very long journey. After a few days, he was in Hawaii. There started the battle against the weird creatures from the bad Guido. Unfortunately, Guido could earn points, so he could buy energy if he wanted to. That's a lie, I've never found a shop in this game. Will Guido succeed in finding his enemy? We will know it soon. It's a heck of a plot, I'm excited. Yeah, suddenly we're in Hawaii, I love it. So after that plot, what could there be? Another loading screen, first of all. This is, you know, an MSX1 or MSX2 game on a floppy disk. You got loading. But let's get started. I've got a little input tracker on the bottom right, as you can see. And I just want you to track where I do inputs versus when they actually start reflecting in the game. So you can understand why this game is so hard to play. Another loading screen. Alright, so this is the world map. You are the little boat-shaped thing at the bottom. The red dots are levels. Let's go. Another loading screen. And I hope you're all ready for PowerPoint. You'll see what I mean. I just want you to take this in a little bit before I explain anything. So this is Lost in Plantness. You're this guy who's staring at the camera with this, like, dead inside gaze out of the corner of his eye. Running on a world of watermelon, I guess. Also, I forgot to do something important here. Damn. I just activated a cheat to give myself infinite lives, not so much because I'm worried about game over, but in the event that it does happen, you see how slow I'm moving. This is how much time this would cost me. So we're just not going to make it a concern. But the first, oh no. The first thing I want to draw attention to is the latency between when I send inputs and when they actually reflect in Guido's movement. It's about a second to 2 seconds of delay. This turns this into probably the world's only turn-based platformer. That's the end of 1-1. We got about 45 minutes of this, folks. Music's really good, though. Every time you return to the world map to go to another level, you start at the beginning of the path and you have to rewalk the entire path again. So that adds to time as well. It makes map movement really important for time. The music is amazing. The music is legit good. Whoop. Alright, so I don't know what this weird little dingacy enemy is. I can jump on him, or I can just jump over him. There's one thing I want to point out while we're kind of getting into the initial, like, spin up of this run. If you look for a bit, you would think there's no walk animation. Well, our protagonist does have a walk animation. If you look really closely at his upper thigh, as I walk, there are 2 pixels that move back and forth. He has a walk animation. That's what it is. These are falling platforms, but as long as I hold the jump button down, they won't fall. So I can just hold the jump button down, carefully position myself, and kind of just plot my jumps like this were a strategy game. It is the 2 pixel butt wiggle. Yes, that is the walk cycle. 2 cheeks of animation. I think it's supposed to represent his thighs, like, alternating in a walk cycle, but I don't know. Uh-oh, that's not good. Ah! I can tell right away when I execute a jump if it's not going to work out in my favor, and usually I can back out from it. But you can see, I can... Well, let me get this guy out of the way. Bop. So I can tap the button, and he won't move, usually. As far as I can tell, about once a second, the game pulls for input, and if you happen to be holding the button down when it pulls, it'll go ahead and move. So you can do a lot of weird things. You can do taps and you won't move. You can hold the button down for like a second in high lag areas and it won't move. But once you start moving, you move at a rate of about 4 tiles a second. So it's extremely difficult to place yourself on one tile where you want to be. Unfortunately, a lot of the jumps in this game are pixel perfect. And by pixel perfect, I mean about 1/8 of the screen because you move tile-based. Did someone do this on purpose, or is it a bad compilation job? Someone did this on purpose. The developer has confirmed for me that this is how the game is supposed to run. The story behind this is this game was developed in 1995 for the MSX2 by 2 teenagers in the Netherlands, and they formed a MSX fan group called MSX Friends Zwelle, I believe is how you pronounce it. And they made this, and it was one of the few, like, fan game things, like, homebrews. You can't even call them homebrews. MSX, everything was homebrew, practically. But it was one of the few games that just kids made in their basement that somehow got preserved. And I found it about 2 years ago when I was doing research for blind speedrun tournaments, Kousa Grande specifically. Uh-oh. Okay. I found this and I gave it out in the Kousa Grande Invitational, and it was... you can imagine how that went. It was a pretty good race, right? The developer, one of the 2 developers, found the race and reached out to me to discuss the game, and it was really cool, which ties into why this category is called Old Version. During the discussion, I pointed out to the developer a pretty awesome guy by the name of Arjun Bakur. He's on, you know, he's around. He still develops stuff for the MSX even. I pointed out to him that we got to the end of World 2 as part of, like, vetting this game for the race, and it soft locked. You got returned to the world map at the end of 210, and we're just stranded. You couldn't go anywhere. And he went, huh, that's a bug. And released in 2019 an updated version of the game that has that bug fixed, and as it turns out, there's 6 worlds in this game, and I've played all of them. So we're doing Old Version today, which is to say the first 2 worlds. Because playing through this optimally, all 6 worlds, would take about 3 hours, because of how slow you move. I do also want to point out that as a result of that, this is probably the game that holds the record for going the longest between legitimate, like, official updates from the developer. It went from 1995 to 2019 without an update and then got a patch. I can't think of any game even comes close to that. 3 hours at this frame rate, indeed. 3 hours at this frame rate with increasingly eye-searing backgrounds. This isn't the worst one by far, and if I finish with some time left, I will show you the worst one. I kid you not, when I played through this blind the first time, all 6 worlds, when I got to the final world, I stopped playing and put on my sunglasses. I went and found my sunglasses and put them on. It's that bad. I think, however, it's pretty awesome that not only did this get released at all in a working state, and yes, I will argue that this is a working state, this is a much better production than I've ever put out, I'll tell you that much, and I've tried. But the developer's pretty chill. When I put the game into Cusa Grande, I was under the impression that MSX Friends-Zoele was far larger than 2 teenagers in a garage. So I was willing to punch a little bit. And when I realized who MFZ were, I realized I was punching down pretty hard. I felt pretty bad about it, to be perfectly honest, but the guy's been real chill about it. So I kind of feel empowered to hype his production up a little bit. Yeah, and for a homebrew garage project, this is pretty solid. It is shocking in where it comes up short, but I love it. It is so endearing. Watermelon World is too strong. I don't know what these are. I don't know if they're mushrooms or babies, but if you touch them in any manner, you instantly die. Whereas everything else you can stomp on. Like, I can stomp on this, but hitting it is like hitting a bullet with another bullet on horseback while blindfolded. So I say as I just start bouncing off of everything. There we go. But I want to encourage this kind of development. Yeah, it's here in BBG, but I actually love this thing. And I'm kind of just hoping that we get some, you know, like, hey, it ain't bad. It's not that bad. The developers put in a real solid effort here. I know in 1995, in my parents' garage, I wouldn't have been able to develop for the MSX, or any computer system I had access to. The developers, MFZ, went on to distribute what they call, you know, a disc mag, which is an incredibly archaic term for the internet era. But a disc mag was what it sounds like. You would put a, you know, basement publication magazine on a disc and put it in a baggie and hand it out at a flea market or a scene group meeting or something. And they put out like 12 volumes of their disc mag, and they had, you know, articles and little programs and programming tips and games and whatnot. Apparently they developed an extension for MSX Basic that turned out to be pretty popular. Later on, the level design does get pretty good. Unfortunately, we don't get to see some of the really good level design because I gotta cut this off at World 2. I mainly just want an excuse to ramble about how much I love underground developments like this, even if they fall a little short of what we consider to be quality games, especially nowadays. Like, MFZ ain't no Pixel, but it's alright. I'm no expert in MSX stuff. I've only started to get into it. But, yeah, they put out, what do they call it? Advanced Basic? Advanced MSX Basic, I think, and, yeah, it's just a set of macros for MSX Basic to do some, they would be what we would call functions today. a library, basically. I don't entirely know what all it did, but from what I had read, it had some popularity and some pretty common projects, popular projects. I haven't died yet. That's shocking. A little bit more about the game. In addition to my inputs being so delayed, I feel like collision detection occurs one drawing cycle ahead of where you can see it. Because if I'm moving and an enemy approaches me and reaches one tile from me, I will freeze in place until they move on to me and kill me. So I feel like collision detection runs a cycle before everything else. So the game just goes, well, you got hit. Now I have to redraw everything so I can kill you. These blue things are diamonds, they give you score. Far as I can tell, score is completely useless. Like, our little intro demo said that Guido can find power-ups and buy power-ups. Never found a single power-up. Never found a shop. Maybe it just didn't make it into the game. But these exclamation blocks also give like a single point when you hit them, or 5. Dodge this thing. So for the most part, well, entirely really, score is pointless. Also a new mechanic here, Mario Vines. They are extremely hard to climb. There we go. You'll find I stop before most jumps, and that it's a huge time waste, but also it's almost impossible to tell if you're gonna jump one tile after you press the button or 2 if you try to do a running jump. It seems to be largely random. Is 99 lives the default? No. That was a cheat I discreetly slipped in because game over would cost me about 25 minutes. So I just didn't want to make that even a possibility. This is not a speed run, it's a truncated category. It's not on any leaderboard, so I figured let's just hedge my bets and make sure I finish the run. That walk to get to the next level is starting to get a little long in the tooth. So we're reaching close to the end of World 1. Once we finish the 10th level here in World 1, we will just get yeeted over to World 2, where the background will change. And the tile set. We'll actually get to see a different environment. There are 6 worlds, 6 environments in all, and some of them, you gotta see to believe. We're gonna see 3 of the tile sets. I'm gonna play through 2, I'll show you the beginning of 3, and then if we have time, I'm going to load a save state I have and show you the splendor that is World 6. And yes, this is Hawaii. The watermelon region of Hawaii, specifically. After every level, Guido has to walk back and have a snack. I could buy that. I need to go up here. So this is some of the most tricky platforming. Because at this frame rate and with this much input latency, good luck, buddy. I really shouldn't play around like that. Oh no. So this is why I budgeted 50 minutes for this run. Because these like single block abominations like this, oh, they're not easy. I will draw your attention again to how much delay I have between pressing buttons and when my actions actually take effect. Oh, send help. Now we have to jump between the babies, or the mushrooms, or the mushroom babies. There we go. This pit, by the way, if I go 1 tile too far to the right, which 1 tile right from here, I will die even though I'm still standing on the ground, because the death pit there is a rectangle that extends 1 tile up above the bottom of the screen. So if you step forward 1 tile too far, you'll stub your toe on it and die. This is actually 60 FPS. The game is running in 60 FPS. It's only redrawing the screen about once every 20 frames. The explanation I received indirectly for this is just the MSX couldn't handle it, but I think largely it was optimization is a very difficult thing. Like, I've gotten game projects this far along before, and then hit the wall of, why does my game run at 3 frames a second? What the heck is going on? I give up. And then you get into fun things like dirty sprite updates and not redrawing things if you don't have to redraw them in other optimizations. And yeah, the MSX is horrible at scrolling. That's another thing. Yep, the MSX2 can definitely handle this. Look at Govelius and Hinatori. Hinatori is amazing, but Hinatori is also probably the best MSX game ever made. So that's not a fair comparison. Alright, so we are going to have to do a running jump here and just hope everything works out and I jump when I expect, which we did. If you bonk the top of the screen, all of your movement stops, vertical and horizontal. So I have to be careful not to bonk, otherwise I'm going straight down to my death. That should be fine. So that should be the end of World 1. World 1 being Watermelon Hawaii brings us to World 2. As soon as we get there, we got a loading screen first. Oh wait, no. I missed a level. It was hiding in the corner. I'm getting ahead of myself. So we gotta walk all the way over there. This game just numbs my brain sometimes. Loading screen. I mean, arguably in this game, every input is a frame-perfect input. I think 110 has a little bit of a tricky jump or two in it. Oh yeah, another Mario Vine. We're just gonna like, okay, so we can, apparently the Mario Vine extends one tile left, but only halfway up it. By the way, if I drop down here, I soft lock and I have to jump into the pit and take a death. I'm gonna let this go down one tile so I can do this. We gotta go up 2 tiles here before we start moving forward. And then we have to drop this down a little bit. Perfect, because again, if I bonk, I go straight down. For like 2 or 3 tiles before I can move forward again. And that can make the difference in a couple places. I'm just gonna let this arrive. Go away. I had pointed out somewhat before, but while taking all this in, I want you to focus on the player character's eye. Part of the problem, part of the reason he's moving so slow, is that he's not looking where he's going. He's staring off at the very right corner of his eye at the camera and the player the entire run. So the entire time you're playing this game, this beady-eyed dude is just staring into your soul, judging you. For what? I don't know. Now we actually get to see World 2, though. It has to load the new tile set. It's coming. Just give it a moment. Yeah, welcome to this. It gets worse. Oh no, my first death. Ah. We are probably in hell. I got entirely out of World 1 without a death. I'll take it. Alright, game, you're not gonna let me go forward. I'll just jump a tile back. It's fine. So you can get yourself stuck here by moving forward at the wrong time. These platforms are on about a screen and a half cycle. So when you come within a screen and a half of them, they start moving. So if your timing is wrong, you can sync these up in a way that you just can't ever make it. And you're soft locked and you have to jump into the fire. Is this the music for the whole game? Yes. Did the devs compose this music? No. It was music they got from somebody else. It was licensed to them, it's legitimate, but it's not the developers. Here comes one tile fire jumps, and I went 2 tiles and died because the game took the input instantly for some reason. Like I said, when the game takes the input or not is largely random. And this is why I have 99 lives. It's worse here because you have all this moving stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna make this. I'm not going to make this. I'm in the fire. Welcome to I Want to Be the Boshi 3 frames a second edition. Let's try to do this without failure. This isn't even one of the hard levels. I am completely ashamed of my performance here. Am I gonna make this? No. So I keep syncing the platform cycles up, and I need to be patient. So we're gonna slow down a little bit and do this correctly. We're gonna let these platforms start moving down before I jump across to them. There we go. Let's see, that wasn't so hard. You know, I was trying to avoid that specific title because I can kind of just contextualize here that the titular character that's a proper name, that's like his name. So I try to avoid that. Alright, let's not mess this up. Okay, there we go. You'll also note, possibly, 1, this is an up-to-jump game, because of course it is. 2, when I position myself for a jump, I will usually tap up just a moment before I hit right, and that's to make sure that the jump input gets taken first and I move a tile up before moving forward, because doing inputs like that will actually map out to me moving up a tile before I move forward. If I hit them both at the same time, I may move forward first and stub my toe on something and die horribly. Because stubbing your toe on a mushroom is apparently fatal. It's news to me. So we're 25 minutes in and we're just starting World 2. This may be a thing. I have people pinging me on Twitter and Mastodon asking me what the hell I'm streaming. These aren't even people who follow me on my stream, and they're horrified. This run may have a body count before it's over. Does this use the MSX cursor keys for movement? Yes, it does. I've used JoyToKey to map the inputs to my gamepad. So I actually have a jump button. I'm cheating. Whoop. Is the character sprite staring at us, or are they glasses? They could very well be glasses, but I like to headcanon that he's judging me for playing this game. And you can't take that away from me. Hot jams, though. Is it possible to cheat in a game that's 3 frames a second? I refuse to consider this a serious speed game. I'm sure someone out there will speedrun this at some point, but I just have fun with it and show it off to people. So it's Lord of the Flies for me. I'll do whatever I want. I'm not gonna make this. So we're gonna back up and let this blob go by. Yeah, I also have never submitted Iron Hike to a leaderboard because I I don't care. I play it for fun. Will this be world record? Yes. By merit of me not keeping track of my time any other time. I have a bet with my roommates, and I'm just gonna put this out there because it may influence the decision a little bit in my favor. I have a bet on how long it is before an NPC puts up a time in this. There's a leaderboard for Iron Hike? I gotta get in on that action. I didn't want to be the first. There's a split here. I can decide which way to go, north or south. It doesn't matter. I have to finish every level in the world to continue on. I have offended NPC. I mean, let's be fair. The last horrible game I showed to NPC, he routed and got into a marathon, so this is not a completely unfounded thing. By the way, enjoy Watermelon Hell, question mark? I don't know how this works. I want to say that World 2 is supposed to be like strawberry cake, but it's probably the sea of fire from which no sinners escape. Let's be honest here. This is where I belong. I'm probably dead. I'm not dead. It's a miracle. And that thing's walking on water, don't worry about it. Water hell. I need to watch what I'm doing. What is with the eyes on these things anyway? I'm a little horrified. Oh. The interesting thing, something I haven't talked about yet, I put this into Kusa Grande for the Kusa Grande Invitational, talked to the developer released an updated version, and as a result of that, some archivist, I think it was the developer himself actually, dug out a bunch of the MSX Friendswelle disc mags, dumped them, and made them available online. So, as a direct result of me finding this game and Brosinchia doing Kusa Grande and having it in there, we archived probably a dozen MSX discs that probably would have been lost to time if that hadn't happened soon. And I'm an archivist. I'm very strongly in favor of emulation for archival purposes, so I'm all about that. And you can get them and rifle through them. I believe they're all on msx.org now. It's just like MFZ disc mags. There's about 12 of them. And then there's this, which was uploaded by the developer with the writer, "No one should play this." I disagree. I think everyone should play this at least once. Just like 1-1. Like, this is true gaming. Oh, heck yeah. Going to add this to an article about bad games and gamers who love them. This is the event to hang out at for that, because those of us who put this event together, and, you know, full disclosure, I'm one of the admins. Hi, if you didn't know. We do this because we want to have a place where these games get shown off, because I especially feel like bad games don't get a fair shake in marathons. They do, like, GDQ has... Get over there. No, not over there! GDQ has Awful Block now, which is great, but having just a full event for this where we're all kind of chill and positive about what we're playing and showcasing is really important. And I appreciate that every time we put this on, the people who... The people who show up, they have fun. They poke a little fun at the games, but everyone is so positive and chill about it. Like, I've never heard anything nasty said about developers, like directly nasty. I haven't heard anything awful said about the games. You know, and I think we all appreciate that they exist, because the important thing about a game is that it provides fun, right? And if the fun it provides is showcasing in a bad game marathon, well, it's still providing fun. The worst thing a game can be in my eyes is mediocre, and we definitely don't have anything mediocre here. This is not mediocre. I gotta do this game deathless? No. No, 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 no. You've gotta do this game deathless. It's like you're playing Overwatch, right? And you get that notification that there's no healer on the team, and you go, hey, someone should be a healer. And you always got that guy who replies, how about you? Yeah, that's me. World needs to see how fun it's not. I have fun with it. I went around AGDQ 2020 with my laptop, forcing people to play this game. Level 5. So we're getting there. We're coming along. Oh no, have I been identified by someone? I am evil. How am I evil? Oh no, mushrooms! I forgot. We're gonna just wait here and let this thing run into a mushroom and explode. Yep, see ya. If it's not obvious, by the way, I am extremely sleep deprived and practically drunk because of it, but that's when I do my best work. Yeah, instant mushroom right in your, like, personal space. Okay, it's not so much explode, it's quietly ceased to exist. It went out with a whimper and not a bang. Unfortunately, there's only like 4 enemies in this game, and 3 of them behave the same way, and then you have the mushroom babies. And every time I say mushroom babies, I get a more and more disturbing mental image, and I should stop saying mushroom babies. It exploded, but the explosion was over before the screen redraw, yes. Let's pull this guy over here. He'll run into the wall or almost hit me. Going up. So World 3, I will showcase its background and tile set at the end of this, and then we'll hop to World 6, like I said. World 3 has to be seen to be believed. It's not as much of an eyesore, but it's thematic. We'll put it that way. It has a theme. I have 15 minutes to do 4 levels. This is not guaranteed, especially with these loading times. Yeah, the flags are cute. I don't know what's supposed to be on them, but they're cute. The end of World 2 does get a little rough. I know I've just kind of been rambling while playing through this and not really showcasing a lot of difficulty, but it's mostly because once you have the muscle memory for the input latency in this game, it gets a lot easier. Later in the world, though, we've got a couple of tricky things we have to worry about. One thing I haven't pointed out that you may have seen a couple of times now is that Guido has the strongest toes in the universe, and if you jump and are 1 tile short of a platform, you will toe grab onto it and be able to jump again. But if you let go of jump, you will fall straight down and die. I don't know how that works, like code-wise, but it does, and It's very important and becomes a deliberate mechanic later on. I think it's necessary shortly up here, actually. I don't remember which level exactly where I route that in, but definitely a thing you have to do to finish the game. Again, the exclamation point blocks, no point. Well, 5 points. They give you 5 points, but score has no purpose. Four levels left. You know, someone had said before that they thought maybe if there were shops in the game, they would be hidden on the world map. I've tried so hard to find a shop on the world map. I'm fairly confident there is no such thing. I've almost reached the point of like trying to decompile the game, but I'm not that good at like assembly to figure that out. I used to be. It is a skill that rusts over time. Try hitting every block for hidden stuff. We're gonna go with yeah, no, this was unwise. What was I thinking? We're gonna go with yes, because I'm afraid of what you're gonna say next if I tell you the truth. Did I ask the creator? No, I've got a line to him, I should. I just... Ooh. Like, I don't know. I feel like if I created this, I don't know how I would feel about it suddenly becoming, like, a topic of interest 20 years later. So, I take a light touch with talking about it with the developer. He seems real chill about it, though. And that's probably just my social anxiety. Yeah, the shops were to buy energy, but everything is, like, single-hit death. What do you do? It's not like there's any elements on the HUD to represent anything. By the way, if you go down there, you die. There's no way out. Just mushrooms. Lots and lots of mushrooms. Yeah, he patched a bug in the game. He went on, I think that as a result of the discussion we had, he would want me to mention that he went on to develop a Bomberman, like a multiplayer Bomberman clone for the MSX that actually became pretty popular and has a Windows build now. And I, for the life of me, can't remember what it's called, which is real unfortunate. But you know, MSX fandom is kind of a small group anyway, but just being big within that is kind of neat. The MSX in general doesn't have a whole lot of popularity, especially here in the US. Like, it's a Japanese and European thing mostly, which is a lot of the world. But I get the impression that even in Europe it wasn't huge. I don't know that for sure. Over here we had the Commodore 64. And boy, do I have some Kusoge for that I want to route. We have 51 points. That's far more than I usually get. What happened? Oh well. Not like it matters. Constantly giving the side eye. Yep. Please jump. Thank you. Wow. Another 2 frames, or about 17 seconds, and I would have died. Bomberman, that's what it was, yeah. Thank you. So for the purposes of our host, it looks like I'm gonna have time when I finish the next 2 levels to do a quick, like, 2 or 3 minute showcase of some of the other worlds. But you can just, like, tell me to cut it whenever you want. I'm sure we've had enough of this. Well, MSX also had MSX Basic, and I think that's what this was written in initially. I don't know. Uh-oh. It's so hard to tell if I've done a jump correctly or not. I have to wait an entire redraw cycle to see if I continue to move upward or not. Let's just keep this going all the way to World 6. I have a secret here I'm gonna spill. If we burn all of our backup runs and are still ahead of schedule for whatever reason, I'm our last resort. I will just show up and do another World of Platinus. So pray that doesn't happen. Yeah, the redrawing is really weird. Sometimes the character isn't moving, but enemies are. So once you start moving, redraws happen a lot faster. I feel like input polling is broken somehow. We should be praying it does happen. Yes. I mean, if you want to see more Platinus, yeah, like I said, I'm probably our last resort backup, and I have 4 more worlds of this to show off. Truth of it is I decided to do 2 worlds, not because it was the category for the old version of the game where it would soft lock, but because 43 minutes is about how much content I have to talk about. I'm running on empty and we're on the last level. It works out perfectly. This is a very long walk through some very annoying slalom pathways though. Please no. There we go. Is poor Guido actually in this game? No. The ending of the game, I will spoil it, because to date I am the only person that has ever been recorded finishing this. The end of the game is you get to the end of World 610, nothing special there, no boss fight, nothing like that, and you just get a text crawl that says you found the evil Guido and defeated him, basically. It's a much longer text crawl, but it's kind of neat and endearing, but its English isn't great. I like it though. Again, I do have a video of a full playthrough of this on my YouTube channel. Like if you just search Lost in Platinus full playthrough, I'm the only video. Where does it soft lock? It used to soft lock immediately after this stage. This here is another trap. If you go down here, your only recourse is to jump into the fire to the right. So don't go down there. That is a trap. No. It didn't look like it, but I was kind of doing the panic dolphin there. Fortunately, the input latency kind of smoothed away all of my inputs. Oh wait, you could tell from the input visualizer, heck. I don't usually run with that on anymore. It is entirely my fault. No one would have known there was anything beyond World 2 if not for me. So we're gonna call time there. 4604, cool, underestimate. So I got about 4 minutes to mess around here. I'm very quickly going to show off 3-1 and 6-1. Here's World 3. I just want you all to see World 3. World record, yeah, that is world record for old version. Because there's no run. So I hope you all like fish, because we have fish. I don't know why. So that's World 3. Just feast your eyes on that for a moment. And then let's take a look at World 6 right quick. Get your sunglasses ready, folks. Here comes World 6. I literally put sunglasses on when I saw this. Come on. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Oh, baby. Yeah. About 45 minutes of this and I was about done, but fortunately this is the last world of the game. You can't see Guido during this. He's just invisible against the background. It's a really cute drawing of a beach. It's just, why is it neon pink? As much as I dump on the game, I think it's a cute little gem. It's cheeky. It's adorable. It was done by a couple of teenagers in their basement in 1995 when you didn't have access to the internet to learn how to do things. It's cool that it released it all, that it got put on a disc and sold or traded or something anywhere and got archived. Because to get archived, someone had to have a disc of this, right? That's cool to me. And I appreciate MFC, I appreciate Arjun for being so cool about this being in a Kusoge showcase. This is the kind of thing I love. And I hope you all enjoyed it. That's about it for me. We've got Jinglestorm being set up. Looks like he's about ready to go. So I am going to be out of here. I'm going to kick it over to Meekin to do the thing. Enjoy the rest of the marathon. Take it away, Meekin. I'm out of here.